chickens grumble. Fair fight, but if they start a rumble, we'll rumble them right. We're gonna hand them a surprise tonight. We're gonna cut them down to size tonight. We said okay, no rumpus, no tricks, but just in case they jump us, we're ready to mix tonight. We're gonna rock it tonight. We're gonna jazz it up and have us a ball. They're gonna get it tonight. The more they turn it on, the harder they fall. Well, they began it. Well, they began it. And we're the ones to stop them once and for all. Tonight.
Yeah. Tonight. 10 players was asked to speak on the Cold War. And if it was really over. Especially with the upcoming bout between Hopkins and Sergey. But Hopkins and Sergey's a different ball game. Hey, hold on. Wait. What's this?
Anita's gonna get her kicks tonight. We'll have a private little mix tonight. You're walking hot and tired, poor dear. Don't matter if he's tired, as long as he's here.
Yeah. I'll be there after this video. If I can find my time machine. Me habla español too. Though I only know disgusting filthy sexual words. So I hope she's got a little bit of slut inside that cute head. But I always figured I'd just watch Anita, since the top rank Jets and Golden Boy Sharks are scared shitless of each other. I'd much prefer seeing her rolling up those stockings. Even better, taking them off. Yeah. Rather than hearing these guys and their Cold War bullshit. And we've gotta throw a 10 players holler out to Keith Robinson on this one. See, we've been asked if the Cold War's over. Which is funny. Because the very fact that there ever was one in the first place is sick shit. Whenever you had two opposing forces. Or a gang beef. Staying away from each other's the last thing they did. And facing off's the first. Unless you're top rank and Golden Boy. Then you're like. Hey. We'll get you fuckers. By never ever fighting you. Take that. Our promotional company doesn't like you, so we're gonna make sure our guys only fuck up our own guys in the ring, instead of fucking up yours. Rather than beating the shit out of you. We're gonna beat the shit out of each other instead. Ha. Take that. But if you're serious fighters. Fighting's exactly what you wanna do. If you believe in your company and fighters. Well. Then.
Best man from each gang to slug it out.
Is what you say. And that's only.
Got the guts to risk that.
But if you don't have that kind of faith in your fighters. You avoid that shit like the plague. So is the Cold War over? Sure it is. This is a business to these guys. But it's more than that. Why does a billionaire wanna be the mayor? It sure the fuck's not for the pay. But it does have everything to do with greed. And the Cold War being over doesn't mean they're gonna get up and suddenly start negotiating fights. Because they don't have that kind of faith in their fighters. When two men enter the ring, 9 times out of 10 someone's stock's gonna fall when the final bell rings. It takes a Bradley Provodnikov kind of fight in order for both guys to keep, or have their stock go up. And that's rare. Which means, one guy's about to decrease in value, and that decrease in value is a decrease in the money he brings in for his promoters. Meanwhile the fighter for the rival promotional company's stock just went up, by making yours go down. Companies don't want to take that kind of risk with the fighters they seriously invest in. Not because they give a shit about that fighter. But because they give a shit about their pockets. If two guys fight from their own stable. Well, it doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter if Pac or Algieri wins. The money stays in-house in Aram's pockets regardlessly. And when you've got a big name like Pac, you're gonna get more than one fight out of him even in a loss, because his name's too big and he's accomplished too much, so he'll get his rematch. While Bob will have a new fighter on the rise at the same time. It's win-win for Aram no matter what, with no need to split or share anything with anyone. Naturally there'll always be lawsuits, but Aram seems to have complete control over Top Rank. Then you have Oscar, who's still working on gaining full control over Golden Boy. But he does seem to be working on it, and we're actually seeing some changes. Because this guy's losing a little power. We've even been noticing his own fighters starting to come out seeking rival opponents. And it's pretty clear to us that Thurman needs to ride with someone else, unless some serious changes occur. But the Cold War itself was nothing but a big pussy-ass excuse for these companies to protect their own stable. Because Top Rank and Golden Boy was shutting out anything that wasn't in-house. Which they need to make some rules against when it comes to belt holders. How can a Top Rank or Golden Boy fighter only have title bouts against their own fighters? That's equivalent to the company itself owning the belt, because they're only giving fighters signed to their promotional company shots at it. Unless it's a mandatory. And we've even seen fighters give up the belt before facing one. But we were asked about the Cold War being over due to Bernard and Sergey facing off, but Sergey rolls with main events. Top Rank and Golden Boy rejected this guy. Naturally they realize it was a mistake now. But the Cold War being over only means they'll fight when it's a last resort and profitable. That's it. Nothing more. It doesn't mean they're ready to take big gambles and risks. So expect some good fights between these rivals. Or so-called, former rivals. However, only every once in a blue moon when it's convenient. Unless they christen the reunion. That means Bob put a big bow on a coupler whores and had them knock Oscar's room door. If you see Oscar suddenly acting freakishly friendly with Bob in a creepy manner. Then they did. But we seriously doubt that happened, because we think Oscar's learned from past experiences. So don't expect all your fight matchup dreams to suddenly come true, because it ain't happening. Ultimately these guys don't have enough faith in their fighters, because even if you had a beef with a rival promotional company, if you knew your guys would win, you'd simply let them take all the other promoters' fighters the fuck out, and shut them the fuck down. So the only thing the Cold War ever meant in the first place was both sides not taking the chance of the other side fucking their guys up in the ring. And you know, it's sad. But the truth is this. Out of all these guys, the one willing to rumble fastest isn't a guy at all. Kathy Duva's down to put her best fighters in with a beast from a rival company faster than both these guys. And let the chips fall where they may. And if Main Events takes an L, then they man up and take an L. It's sad. But the very reason Main Events should be number one is the very reason they're not. If the deal's fair, they'll fearlessly put their fighters in with a beast. Unfortunately sometimes they come up short. But Main Events doesn't seem to be trying to protect them for eternity. I mean these guys need to let their fighters come the fuck out the womb. Cut the damn umbilical cord. Stop sucking mommy's nipple, and take on some rival company meat in the fucking ring. That's what fans wanna see. You can't find the next great one if you fear competition. Apparently they've completely forgotten the point of boxing. But good news is, we're starting to see fighters calling out more fighters that are being protected. Looks like they're getting tired of breast milk. So maybe Main Events the ones fighters tired of the bullshit need to go to. It's true they've had hard times. But they'll get you the fights, and you don't have to watch your mouth with them. They'll let you talk shit with no muzzle. That's more than we can say for a lot of fighters. I mean we've been watching fighters being asked who they want next after fights for the past couple of years, and seeing them come out with dumb shit. Like it's up to their team. Their managers. They don't know. They need to go home and rest, and hug their kids. They need to go ask their woman's butt. Like get fucking real. I like a nice butt too. But I wouldn't need one to authorize who I fight next. But these fighters don't know who they wanna fight. Fuck's that about? Apparently some are getting hit in the head too much. We can see if you're a up-and-coming fighter, but not when you're a damn champion. If you haven't unified the belts, then how the fuck do you not know who you wanna fight? Fight whoever the fuck's got a belt claiming they're the champ too. Jesus, only one motherfucker can win the Super Bowl or World Cup. You can't have several teams rolling around claiming they're all the champions. Clear that shit the fuck up by fighting the next guy with a strap. That's who the fuck you should wanna fight next. But with managers and Cold Wars, these fighters are so afraid of saying the wrong thing, that they say nothing. You could ask them where their dicks are located, and they'll tell you they've gotta talk with their team about it. But lately we've been seeing a few starting to use their own brains. And it seems to have started at the claims of the Cold War being over. Progress is slow, however we like what we're seeing so far. Nevertheless, the chick still seems to have bigger balls than the motherfuckers with actual dicks. The problem is it's boxing. Not the NBA, or Major League Baseball where the best have to eventually face each other. So yeah, the Cold War's over. But the only thing that means, is that it's a cool war now, instead of a cold one.